Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're going to continue our discussion on machine learning. And today we're going to learn a new algorithm, a new method, and it's called random forest. By way of introduction class, random forest is actually decision trees. It's creating several decision trees. Or in other words, it's decision trees in steroids. Okay, steroids is supposed to give you something, energy booster, etc. So this is what random forest is. So you recall that we already did modeling for decision trees, either using the R part or the party package. And we said that when we create a random forest, we develop decision nodes. Each node will have one. Each decision node will choose one feature or one variable. For example, in our case, we have NSPF associated with LB plus AC plus FM. Okay, so in our decision tree model, we have several nodes, and one each node will uh, will choose a particular feature, let's say LB, and it will ask the question: Is LB, let's say, greater than 120? If it's yes, then it will go to this branch. If it's no, then it will go to this branch until such time that what you arrive at are your terminal nodes. So that's what a decision tree is. Okay, so you have one decision tree. Okay, you can create another one by tweaking the tree control. Okay, but generally, if we have one code, if we have one set of codes class, then you generate one decision tree. And what do you use this decision tree for? You come up with a model, and that model class is the decision tree where you ask, is this variable less than or equal to this one, or etc. And then you follow the branches until you come up with the final prediction using your decision tree. Okay, and then what we did was we use our trained data in order to generate our model, and then we use the model that we generated from the trained data to adapt it or to apply it to our test data and see if the model can still correctly predict the data that it has not yet seen, which is your test data. And then we compared class. We in fact compared uh, party using the party package and using the R part. Okay, and okay, let me just use this and okay. So today we're going to discuss in greater detail random forest. Because there's so many concepts, there's so many processes in random forest. I thought it best for us to really understand what this is so that you know what's happening. And then when you read references, for example, you know what we mean by bagging or bootstrap aggregation or OOB, okay, because it pays to understand the fundamentals of your model. So if you recall, class, if you recall, what we were using was the cardio dataset. Let me illustrate that. Imagine this is a container containing all the information about our cardio dataset. We know that there are 2,126 observations here, 2126 observations. But we don't want to use all of them, class, because we will fall into what do you call that, class? Letter O, overfitting, no? Overfitting, coming up with a model which is associated or describes this 2,126 observations so that when a new data comes in class and we try to run that data in the model that we created out of this, that model might not work in predicting the new data. So what we do is to split this data into two. So first we have the testing data set, and also we have the training data set. The training data set is the data that we use for creating a model. Okay. When we create the model from the training data set, we then use the testing data set to see if predictions here using the model generated from this one will be okay. Now we learned two ways of creating training and testing. If you recall, we use the sample function which is a probabilistic function, but it turned out not so good compared to Caret's create data partition. Okay, Caret's data create data partition is really designed to create testing and training data sets, and at the same time, uh, at the same time, maintain preserve the proportionality of your data, especially if you're dealing with factors. So factors have they have their respective levels, okay, and then the levels have their uh, proportions. The create data partition, as we have seen in the past, is able to preserve the proportion of your data, which is very important. Okay. Now, if you recall, class, we were able to generate 80% of your cardio will go to your training data set. So this is our training data set. And 20% went here, which is 425. 425 observations. Then this will go to our testing data set. Okay, test. All right. So the first two processes in random forest involve what we call bagging, okay, or bootstrap sampling, and also OOB, out of bag predictions. For those two processes, we're not going to touch testing. We're only going to deal with training data set. Okay. So let me explain, class, what bagging means. Bagging, okay, or AKA slash bootstrapping. So this is a type of bootstrapping. B-O-T, B-O-O-T strap. Okay. So it's important that we understand this, class, because if we just go immediately to modeling using random forest, we don't know really what's happening. Okay, and you'll not be able to discuss clearly what the random forest model is. Okay, as I said, class, when we do random forest, okay, we're actually generating several decision trees. So let's assume, class, that we're going to create 500 decision trees. Okay, so I'll put here, this is your bag one, bag two, or your container one, container two. So just call it bag to be consistent with bagging. Okay, dot, dot, dot. Okay, what are these bags for, class? These are 500 bags. No? So this will represent now the number of decision trees that we'd like to create. Remember, for random forest, as defined, it's a forest. So it means there are several trees that we can create in this model. Okay, so let's say that for purposes of an example, we'd like to generate 500, 500 trees. So this is for your decision tree one. This is for your decision tree number two, decision tree number three, that decision tree number 500. So we'll have 500 decision trees as compared to using the party or the RPart package where you can only create one at a time. This one, class, for random forest, you can create several up to, I think the default is 1,000. Okay. So you can create more than 100, less than 100, more than 500, etc. So what's the objective? To create these decision trees, okay, and then just aggregate the result. So if you have 500 decision trees, then you'll have 500 models, right? Okay. Now the question is, how do I create the decision tree number one? How do I create decision tree number two? Okay, we do a process called bagging. And what's bagging? So this is our trained data set. Remember, we're not going to touch test data set. Okay, this is trained data set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out a sample from this one. So let's say I'm going to draw out the first sample, the first observation. Let's call it observation number 5. Okay. So let's say observation number 5 is here. I get it. I put it in my bag one. And then, of course, I take note of the details. What's LB, what's AC, what's FM, what's NSPF, or the other variables because we're going to need that class. Remember, our model is NSPF, okay, is associated with LB plus AC plus FM. AC, this is AC class. So when we're getting observations here, class, from this train, of course, we would like to note what are these variables? What are the values of this? Or if we're going to model using more variables, then we have to note that. But we're going to do it sampling with replacement. So I already mentioned this in the past, but let me once again replacement, explain what this means. Okay, so I get observation number 5. Then with replacement means it's as if we're returning number 5 here, but at the same time preserving number 5 here. So we got observation number 5 here. And then what I'm going to do is, let's imagine it's a physical drawing of a, let's say, ping pong ball in this container. And that ping pong ball or whatever object has a number 5 in it. I'm going to draw number 5 and put it here. And then I'm going to return it here, replace it here. Okay, that means number 5 can still be drawn again. So let's say after several withdrawals, I have number 5 here again. Okay, or I have number 8, then maybe for several times, I keep on drawing number 8. Now, how many observations am I going to draw out of this string for decision tree number 1? I'm going to draw out the same number of observations. So 1701 dito. 1701. Okay, so I keep on drawing from the trained data set 1701 observations. Now, statistically, it's very, very probable that I'm going to draw out some observations more than once. And also, some observations never. Okay, so what do I mean? For example, number 10. I don't have number 10 here, which means I was not able to draw out number 10 for decision tree number 1. Now, number 10 could be here in decision tree number 2. So this process is replicated here, class. I'm going to draw out 1701 observations also for decision tree number 2. Okay? And it's also done with replacement. So it's possible that some of the items here in number 2 are also in number 2 and number 1. And that it's possible that there are items in number 2 that are not in number 1. Okay? Because this is random sampling. We call it, class, bootstrap sampling. Okay, so for decision tree number 1, we have here our bootstrap sample number 1. For decision tree number 2, we have here our bootstrap sample number 2, etc. until bootstrap sample number 500. Okay, so once we have that, class, we have 1701 observations here. What do we do? Just like in the decision tree, we're going to create a decision tree out of this, class, out of these samples. And so a decision tree model will be created for decision tree number 1. And the same thing for decision tree number 2, number 3, up to 500. If we choose 500 decision trees, as I said, you can choose 1,000 or you can choose less than maybe 100. The default in R is 500 trees. Okay, so there you go, class. You have 500 decision trees. So what do you do with that, class? We create a model, a decision tree for each of the decision tree samples here. So this one will have a model class. Okay, it starts with FM or AC or LB. And so this model will have its own confusion matrix, diba? It will predict, no? It will predict whatever is here and then come up with a confusion matrix. Okay? But okay, let me backtrack that a bit, no? What we're interested in here is the model itself first, the model. And we're not going to create a confusion matrix for the observations that are here. So just the model, okay? Here, just the model. Here, 1701 also, just the model. dot, 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 here 1,701 observations also, then create the model. Okay, let me pause for a while, class, and each step of the way, I'd like to ask questions if you're able to follow. So, are you able to follow the process, class? The process of generating your decision trees, how many all in all depends on your choice. You can specify whether it's 100 or 1,000, etc. Okay, and create a model out of that. Thank you so much. Okay, good. Thank you, class. All right. Okay. So let's see. Let's continue. Okay. Now, when we draw out the observations from this trained data set and put it in this decision tree one, I said that it's possible that there are some observations that were not chosen for decision tree number one. Okay. So let's suppose, okay, number two. Let's suppose number two is not present here, class. Okay. So there's a special name for number two. Number two, as far as this, okay, let me just fix my drawing here. Okay. So number two, class, okay, is called, class. There's a name for that, class. It's called OOB. OOB. Out of bag sample. Okay, what's an out of bag sample, class? It is an observation that's not chosen in a particular bootstrap sample. Okay, so OOB number one, this is out of bag number one. Let's say it could be observation number two, observation number 15, observation number 30. Okay, statistically, it can be shown that usually around 30% of the observations of this 1,701 observations may not be chosen, class. So 30% of 1,701, that's around 500, more or less, no? Can be less, can be more. So it's possible that 500 numbers here, observations here, were not chosen. Of course, it can be less. No? So that's just an estimate, 30%. Okay? So there will be OOBs for each of the decision trees, for each of the bootstrap samples. Okay. What happened here? So this one will have its OOB for a bootstrap sample number 2, etc. up to OOB for bootstrap number 500. So we call them your OOBs. OOB, out of bag sample. Those observations that were not chosen in each particular bootstrap sample. So once again, I said that there will be 500 OOBs, each pertaining to each bootstrap sample. Okay, is that possible? Yes, because of replacement. Because certain numbers here could be repeated twice, thrice, four times, etc. So since you also have the same number of observations, that means that there may be some observations in this trained data set that's not chosen in your bootstrap sample. Okay, so next, what do we do now with this out of bag observations? Okay, let me begin by, let me first, okay, let me do this. Okay, all right. So let's first take a look at each observation here. Okay, let's uh, trace observation number one. Okay, observation number one, class. Let's find out where observation number one is an OOB. Okay, so let's say number one is found here in decision tree number one. Therefore, it's not an OOB as far as this bootstrap sample is concerned. So let's say, for purposes of example, that observation number one were found to be an OOB in, let's say 30 OOBs, which means that there were 30 bootstrap samples where number one was not chosen. So what are we going to do with that, class? Okay, let's suppose that this is decision tree number two. Decision tree number two does not have number one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to predict number one using decision tree number two. Okay, is that is that good? Yes, class, because decision tree number two has not yet seen observation number one. Remember, when this model was created, it did not include observation number one. So in effect, observation number one seems to be a test observation as far as decision number two is concerned. Okay, so let's now predict, class. No? Let's say for decision tree number two, the prediction was let's say S. Okay, and then we go to the other models, class. Let's say for decision number eight, the prediction was also S. Then, so we have to look at this 30 models, 30 decision trees, okay? And then predict number one for each of them. Okay, let's suppose we have the 30 already. And then let's suppose that, let's count. How many times was observation number one predicted as N? Let's say it's number 10. 10 times, okay, in 10 models, 10 decision trees, the prediction for observation number one was 10. N, 10. For S, it was, uh, let's say 12. And for S, therefore, it's 8. Okay? So these are the predictions. These are the predictions, class, for observation number one in all of the OOBs, class. Okay, using, of course, the model. Okay? Uh, let me clarify that in all of the models, class, where observation number one is an OOB. Okay, ibig sabihin, which means it was not used in that specific decision tree. So you can predict it, class. Okay, and let's say we came up with this. 10 times it was predicted as normal, 12 times it was predicted as suspect, and 8 times it was predicted as pathologic. So as far as this is concerned, the winner, okay, or the prediction that we're going to use is S, since it was mentioned 12 times. It was predicted here 12 times, the most. Maybe you'd like to ask, what if there was a tie? Probabilistically, it's quite impossible, class, to have that kind of a result. Okay, so I will not do the math, class, but that seldom happens. It's more of the exception. And if that happens, class, it's possible that we kick out this specific prediction. Okay, we can kick that out. So what do we do now? We take a look at observation one. And the actual class is observation one is N. Okay, we took a look at the data. Observation number one is N. The prediction is S. Therefore, this is a wrong prediction. Okay, so what we're going to do is correct and then wrong. We're going to tally, class. Observation number one is wrong. Okay, so you do that for how many observations? 1701. All the observations in training, class will have to undergo this, okay, out of bag, okay, out of bag prediction, class. Okay, and then of course the result will be, let's say we have here 400. So that means this one is 1101. Sorry, 1301. So for observation number one, there were 400 correct predictions and there were 1301 wrong predictions. Okay? That's for sample number one. Okay, observation number one. Sorry, it's for all already, no? For all. Kasi observation number one will only have one count here. It's correct or wrong. Okay, so we can now see here the out-of-bag result, out-of-bag predictions. And it's quite low, class. 400 out of 1701 is the correct prediction. Diba? So that's quite low, class. Even when you compare it to our party and uh, our part decision tree, isa lang tree yun na, class, ha? Only one tree. This turned out to be a really a bad performer, class. No? Okay, class, give me a minute. Ha? Dali lang. Okay, I apologize, class. All right, so uh, why did I say this is 413? Oh, I'm just coming up with certain numbers, no? And of course, the total here is 1701. Bakit? Kasi each observation in your trained data set will be an OOB. And then we look at the decision trees where it is an OOB. Tapos we model each of the observation here and count how many times it's N, how many times it's S, and how many times it's P. And then the highest, the biggest prediction will be the winner, and then we compare it to the actual. If they're the same, then it's a correct prediction. It will go here to C, correct. If it's wrong, then W. Okay, and then you summarize, class. Okay, all right. And then here we're able to see if our model, if our initial model is good. Apparently, class, our initial model is bad here. Okay, so what do we do now? We tweak the model, class. Okay, so therefore, class, the OOB is very important because actually the OOB is part of your trained data set. Only that it's not used in some of these models. So we're able to validate, class, validate our model, still using technically the training data set. We haven't used the test data set, class. The test data set will be the after, class. Okay, so we generate our RF, class, our random forest model. Let's say it's not good. So we do redo the process, class, by tweaking our code. Okay, we can change the number of trees. You can make it 1,000 because the default is 500, or you can make it just 100. You can make it 400, etc. And then also we have what we call, later we'll discuss this M try, letter M and then try. This is very important because it has something to do with your variable. We can also change that so that we generate another model. So let's suppose for the purposes of for discussion, we were able to generate 4 random forests. No? Okay, so random forest number one, let's say that the accuracy is only 30%. Random forest number two, the accuracy is 80%. It's just an exaggerated example. Let's say random forest number three had an accuracy of 90%, and it was the biggest of the 4 random forests. So therefore, we're going to choose random forest number three, okay, because it has the highest prediction out of the OOB. Okay. So after doing that class, that's the time, once we have chosen our final model for random forest, that's the time we're going to use that for our test data set and come up with your confusion matrix for your test data set. So that in a nutshell class is your random forest. Okay, let me summarize. We start first, of course, initially we had this data and then we partition it into two using create data partition. So we use the trained data set. So for this one, we're going to now use bagging and OOB. So for bagging, we create X number of decision trees depending on our requirement, depending on what we would want to do, the number of decision trees. Okay. And then each of the decision trees, as I said, will create now its own model. So there will be, let's say, 500 decision trees, 500 models. Okay. And then what do we use to test the model for? We will test it for the OOBs class. So for example, decision tree number one, let's say there are 10 observations here that were that are part of the OOB, which means that were not used for the modeling here. Then we will run these 10 observations to DT1. Okay, let's say uh, uh, observation number 30. Okay, we run observation number 30 here and predict. And then we also look at where the other OOBs for number 30 is. And then we aggregate, okay, we add all the N's, the S, and the P's, and we determine which is the best one, okay? The highest class, let's say the highest for observation number 3 is, let's say, N. So we take a look at the actual value of observation number 30. It's N, so it's the same, it's correct, okay? So therefore, it will be counted as C, correct, okay? Because we're counting what were the correct predictions and what were the wrong predictions so that we can come up with an accuracy metric for our OOB predictions. Okay. And then after that class, we redo the model, okay, come up with several random forests and then choose the best one. Okay. And then that's the time we use the test data to create to determine the confusion matrix for this one and see if our, our model class, the final random forest model class, goes well with our test data set. Okay. Again, pause class for a while, and then may I ask you to please comment if you were able to follow class. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, a few more seconds for the others. Yes, good. Thank you so much, class. Appreciate your feedback. Okay. So let me continue now discussing this. Let's now go, class, to our text. So this is what I wanted to do, class, in your text, in your case, in your additional case, where you do a write-up for SVM, for XGBoost, for ANN, okay? And it's for you, class. You'll be forced to sit down and take a look at the process. And ask questions. Ano ba yung XGBoost? What is SVM, support vector machines? And what is ANN? Interesting class yung ANN kasi artificial neural network, where it's a machine learning tool which acts like a brain. Okay, it will create neurons. Okay, that's a very interesting model, class. Okay, so I'll close this. Okay, and then let's now go to our text. Okay, so everything that I discussed, class, is here. For example, the goal of random forest is to understand, class, yung bagging and out-of-the-box samples in the context of RF. Okay, here I'm just identifying, class, what's the initial model. We already did this, split the data, and we said it's best to use the create data partition and not the sample function. So we use the cardio data set and then split it into train and test. And already we said that 17014 for train and 4254 testing data set. Okay, so uh, the core of the random forest training process is to is to come up with your models class, your decision tree models, depending on the number of entries that you want. Entries. Okay, this is the parameter used. Entries. Okay, so you can define this. The default is 500. You can make it 1,600, etc. Okay, the default is 500. So if you don't write entries is equal to, if you don't write anything about entries, it's understood to be 500. Okay, then just go through this very quickly, class, because I think I already explained this. And uh, the reason why I'm writing it is because, of course, you don't quickly memorize or understand the whole process. So you'll have a reference by which you can review in writing, no? In writing na kasi ito, eh. So this is what I want you to do also for the three other models. Okay? Yung process mismo. And I'll choose the best ones of your outputs and share it with the class, if you don't mind, para the others will also benefit from your efforts. Okay, of course you are graded with this one, 10 points each, so that means 30 points tong ano, and that could also improve your grades in this class. Okay, so this one I already mentioned to class. Decision tree number one, there are 17,001 observations. Okay, and out of these 17,001, there could be possibly great probability that there are OOBs here. Okay, so the data set that we generated is what we call bootstrap sample one. Okay, and then we're going to use this class in order to create a model class. Okay, a decision tree model. The same thing for decision tree table number two. Okay, and also for all the rest up to DT 500. Okay, all right. Then here, class, for decision tree number one, we train a fully unpruned. Okay, what do you mean fully unpruned decision tree model? So that means, class, that it's a default class. Okay? Parang we're not changing yet any of the parameters there. It's like when we first started with our part or the party package, di ba? Wala tayong ginalaw, no? Yung second na lang, nag-tree control tayo, di ba? May mga binago tayo. But yung first one, class, it was the unpruned. It was the default. So that's what happens, class, no? With the decision tree. Okay? So for example, si decision tree number one, this specific tree builds its rules. Okay, so depende dun sa model natin, NSPF associated with LB, AC, and FM, di ba? So pipili siya dun sa tatlong yon sa node 1 kung ano yung unang basis ng splitting niya. Okay? Is it LB? Is it AC? Is it FM? You have seen this class. Nung nag-generate tayo ng mga models natin, nakita natin yung mga kung sa anong unang ginagalaw, di ba? You have a node there, class, and it chooses among those three variables, LB, AC, FM ba? Tapos based on that choice, magba-branch out ngayon. No? Kunyari, LB is greater than 130. If yes, then it will go to this arrow, this branch. If no, it will go to this branch, and you have another decision node until such time that pupunta ka sa terminal node. Okay? All right. Let me now. Okay, ito, class, no? This is very important. And here, andi dito yung sinasabi ko, mtry parameter. Okay, so let me discuss this. Okay, so one of the most important thing as far as okay, sandali. Decision tree is concerned is this one, class here. Okay, where's that? Here, class. Random feature subspace. And this is crucial for random forest. Hey, what's that, class? What's that? Okay, going back to our model, class. Yung random space na yan, class. It's all about, di ba yung model natin, NSPF. NSPF associated with, let's use this class. I'm going to change the model. I'm going to add, no? LB plus, sorry for the, LB plus AC plus FM plus, let's say we added other variables, plus DL plus DS plus, ano pa ba? I think may UL doon. Example lang, no? Plus ASTV, ASTV, ASTM ba? Okay, hindi ko kabisado class ha. DSTM. Let's say these are the variables, no? So how many variables to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 variables. Now, may specification si random forest, no? Ang specification niya, yung mtry. Okay? Ang mtry niya is square root of p. I'll explain what this means, class. Square root of p, p stands for your predictors. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're using 8 predictors, square root of 8, rounded off class, this is equal to 2. No? Hindi siya umabot ng 3. Okay? So, integer dapat si mtry. So, ang gagawin ni R, gagawin niya, class, mtry is equal to 2. That will be the default. Of course, class, we can use mtry is equal to 1, mtry is equal to 3, hanggang mtry is equal to hanggang 8. So, hindi pwedeng maging 9 kasi 8 lang yung predictors natin eh. So, what's the purpose of this mtry? Okay, it's the purpose of which is to make sure that there's no correlation among your models or if ever, maliit lang siya. Bakit? Ano ibig sabihin ng 2 class? Ibig sabihin ng class sa 2, when it chooses class a factor for a node, di ba magdi-decision node tayo. Anong node ang ilalagay niya dito? Is it LB, AC, FM, DL? Okay? So what node will be placed? What variable will be placed here sa decision node? It will be guided by this one, this 2. If it was mtry is equal to 8 class, ang ibig sabihin nun, mtry is equal to 8, lahat pagpipilian niya. Ito. Yan. So pipili siya dyan ng, remember, isa lang pipiliin niya kasi magdi-decide is LB equal to like this, is AC is greater than this, isa lang pipiliin niya. Now, yung mtry is equal to 8 is one of the, let's say, not so good way to do things. Mtry is equal to 8. This is not a good way to do this. Kaya nga nagdi-default siya square root of P, just to make sure na mas maliit kaysa dun sa number of predictors yung magiging mtry. Why is that so, class? Anong ibig sabihin ng mtry is equal to 2? It means, class, that when R will fill this up with a variable, it means kukunin niya 2 at a time, no? Kunyari, kukunin niya LB at saka AC lang. O kaya AC at saka FM. O kaya DL at saka DS. So basta dalawahan lang, oh? FM and ASTV. DL and ASTM. What's the effect of that, class? Okay, let me start with what if its mtry is equal to 8? Pag mtry is equal to 8, ibig sabihin niyan, class, di ba, makakapili siya in any one of these 8. Okay? Now, this lends to correlation, class. Bakit? Kasi let's say LB is the most powerful here. Okay? Mtry is equal to 8. So, pipiliin niya si LB. Yan ang ilalagay niya dito. Sa LB. And that goes also for the other decision trees. Mtry is equal to 8. So lahat ng mga decision trees, ang pipiliin nila, LB. So ano mangyayari? Di pare-pareho sila. Pare-pareho yung unang decision node natin, pare-parehong LB. Okay, so may correlation, di ba? Una, LB. Tapos yung susunod, baka pare-parehong AC din. Okay, so yung Mtry is a very powerful tool class for randomness. Para yung mga models na nag-generate yung decision tree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hanggang 500, as much as possible, they're not the same. Bakit, class? Kasi pag 2, di ba pag ito lang pinili natin, kunyari LB at saka AC, siguro papiliin si LB. Pero, hindi kasi pwedeng LB at saka AC lagi. By 2s, so iba naman ang pipiliin, FM at saka DL. O yung iba, AC at saka ASTV. So, anong net result nun? The net result is that magkakaroon ng divergence ng mga models. Si decision tree number 1 will be different kasi iba yung mtry niya eh. So, siguro dito siya muna pumili. So baka ang una niyang pinili is FM. Tapos yung isa naman AC at saka ASTV. Okay? So I hope you get the idea, class, of the power of this robustness of this method where you do not you choose all the 8, no? for your M-try. Okay, siyempre, ang pwede dito, pwedeng 1. So pag one class, one at a time lang yan. Maganda rin yun class kasi isa-isa lang pwede niya mapili. So hindi laging LB. So pwedeng DS lang ipili niya. So DS talaga ipapasok niya dito. Okay, tapos next na naman, pipili na naman. Okay? And then 2, ito class yun, ano? 2 at a time. Or 3, pwede rin. LB, AC, FM, pili siya dyan. Okay, ACA, STVA, DSTM, pipili siya dyan. So randomized pa rin to. Or even 4, 5, 6. Yung 7, medyo ano class kasi uh, medyo the higher class, the M-try, medyo hindi, sabi natin medyo hindi nagiging maganda yung model kasi medyo nare-restrict yung ano, yung choice. Okay? Nare-restrict yung choice eh. Ang talagang medyo nagbibigay sa atin ng mas magandang ano, not all cases sa class ha, yung mas mababang mga M-try. Yung 1 definitely, no? If you have 500 trees, iba-iba yung ano diyan, yung let's say yung mga decision nodes natin iba-iba. Ganun din pag 2, 3, etc. Okay? So it depends really on the number of variables that you have. Sa atin kasi class, 'di ba yung model natin LB plus AC plus FM. Ito lang yung model natin. So ilan yung predictors natin? 3. Okay? So square root of 3, which is 1 point something. Therefore, ang M-try, ang default will be 1. Ibig sabihin, pipili niya isa-isa to. LB muna, AC, FM, etc. Okay, so that will also help in decorrelating, no? Making sure that hindi correlated yung mga models natin. Pwede ring 2 class sa model natin dito sa LB plus AC plus FM. Pwedeng 2, 2 at a time lang yung pipili niya. Or sabi natin yung 3, ito yung pinaka hindi maganda. One of the pangit class, no? Okay? Not necessarily siya yung pinakapangit. Pwedeng, basta hindi siya pwedeng ano, from my experience, malabo siyang maging pinakamaganda, no? Okay? Kasi pag 3 class, again, LB plus AC plus FM, siguro napansin nyo yung mga models natin, ano ba? Uh, marami bang AC? I think maraming AC, ano? Okay, pag M-try natin is equal to 3 dito, which hanggang 3 lang naman talaga yung pwede class. Hindi naman pwedeng M-try is equal to 4 kasi tatatlo lang yung variables natin eh. How can you do M-try is equal to 4? Okay? So, dun sa M-try yun class. Okay? So, that's what I meant class. When you determine the final model class, dun sa random forest natin, it means class, unang-una, magsisimula yan sa default. Okay, wag nyo lang gagalawin yung default class, ha? Kunyari yun na yung default, no? So may model na tayo. And then, we can try another one and tweak the model so that nag-hyper tuning tayo ng parameter. Binabago natin yung mga, parang yung dati class, yung minimum criteria na alala nyo yun. Ganun din to. And two of the most popular ones are itong N-trees, no? Ilang trees. At saka yung M-try. Okay, so critical din to class, no? For randomness ng decorrelation ng ano natin. Okay, let's continue class. Oh, sorry. Pause muna again class. Are you able to follow so far class itong randomness, itong M-try? Clear ba siya class or you need me to explain them again? Explain it again class. M-try. Try 1, try 2, try 3. M, hindi ko lang check class kung model try yata to, no? M-try. So remember the default is square root of P. Tapos rin-round down siya. Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Okay, good, good. Thank you. Sorry. Okay, so let's continue. 524, nako. I think I might need to quickly go through the model kasi gusto kong makapagsimula tayo ng model natin, no? At least makapagsimula tayo ng default. Okay. All right. So, saan na tayo, class? We're here, no? We're here. So, sabi ko dito, for example, if our model explicitly uses LP, AC, and FM, kasi P is equal to 3 class, okay? 3 predictors in total for the model, and the default M-try for classification is square root of P, which rounds to 1. So, if we don't say m trie is equal to 1, it will default to 1 kasi square root of p is equal to 1. Round down, no? Kasi tatlo lang naman yung predictors natin. And then what you can do is also generate m trie is equal to 2 and m trie is equal to 3. And you'll find out most probably that m trie is equal to 3 is maybe not necessarily the worst. It can be the worst or at least it cannot be the best. Kasi pag m trie is equal to 3, isasali mo kagad lahat ng tatlong variables to. And if the decision tree says that LP is the best here, yan ang unang gagamitin niya. So lahat ng decision trees ganun kasi pare-pareho yung base, yung simula. Unlike if it's P is equal to 1, definitely iisa-isa niyan. Ito muna, tapos itong AC, tapos itong FM, o kaya dalawahan. So pipili siya ng isa dyan. Okay. So that also tells us that it's good if you have more variables. Talagang deliberately nagtatlo lang tayo eh. So I would like you to try class, copy niyo yung mga codes natin tapos baguhin yung model, dagdagan yung class ng ng mga predictors natin. Idagdag niyo yung DL, DCDS, etc. and try to see if it will improve the model. Okay, kasi pag marami class, 'di ba? Marami tayong variables. Yung M-try natin pwedeng ma-vary talaga, no? And it can test several models. All right. Okay, so ito ina-explain ko lang class. Alright, ito nagbigay lang ako example. For example, 10 siya, no? 10. So square root of 10 will be around 3. Okay, so maiiba-iba class yung choices. Pag m try is equal to 3. So 3 of each of the tapos random po yan, iba-iba, no? So you're able to create different models talaga. Okay. Kasi anong nangyayari dyan, at each split class, the tree algorithm will perform the following. Okay, random selection. Pipili siya sa tatlong predictors na yon. Tapos mag-split siya class. Optimal split within the subset. And then, it will make the split. So, ganun class yung model ng di ba? Yung sa decision tree natin. If you recall, may node tayo dyan. Tapos may pinili siyang variable, no? Tapos, in-split na yon. If LB is greater than this, ganito pupunta. Tapos pwedeng on the right side, if LB is greater than 130, so false. Pupunta siya dito sa next node on the right and pwedeng LB ulit ang gagamitin o pwedeng FM or pwedeng etc. Okay, so that's what we mean by this. And as I said, class, one node at a time, one decision at a time, no? Only one node and one predictor lang, no? That's what I meant there. Ang ibig sabihin class, sa isang node class, hindi tayo pwedeng multi-test. Kunyari, sa isang node, is FM greater than 1, if LB greater than 150 and AC less than 120? Hindi pa pwede yun, no? That's what we call multi-level categorical features. Hindi pa pwede, isa-isa lang. Okay, so it's not a multi-nodal approach. So either pag sa node split, isa lang titinan, either is FM greater than 20 or is AC less than 50 or is LB greater than 120, isa lang dyan. No? Hindi pa pwedeng sabay-sabayan. Hindi pa pwedeng ganito class. Is FM greater than 20 and AC less than 50? That's not allowed. No? All right. Okay, again, inulit ko na dito yung M-try class. Tapos in-explain ulit yung OOB. You can refer to this class, no? Take your time in reading it. Total, ayan naman class diniscuss ko na to, no? That's the purpose why I did this. Ito class yung kanina, no? Kunyari, si observation number, sino ba to? Si patient A class, which is observation number, in-identify ko siya dito, no? Whatever observation, kunyari observation 1, let's call it patient A. So, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees na hindi siya kasama. Therefore, these are your OOBs for patient A. So, each of the trees class, predict siya. So, sa tree number 5, ang prediction niya is P. Sa number 12, it's S, etc., etc., no? So, bawat tree na OOB siya, iprepredict siya doon. Tapos, bibilangin, ika-count, no? Ika-count yung prediction. Kunyari, N is equal to 3. S is equal to 1, P is equal to 1. Example lang class. So mas marami yung N. So ang prediction for OOB for patient A is N. Then i-compare sa actual, ano ba yung actual niya? Let's say N. Eh di correct, di ba? So dun siya pupunta sa correct. Or kung mali, pupunta siya sa mali. Kasi bibilangin natin, we're going to count all the correct predictions and all the wrong predictions. Okay? So take note, each of these trees which never saw patient A during their training independently diagnoses patient A based on their symptoms. Okay? All right. And then ina-aggregate nga class, ano? Ang tawag natin dyan, the consensus diagnosis for patient A is, let's say, S, kunyari. Okay? So, lahat yan gagawin for all the 1,701 observations. Bibilangin, class. Bibilangin. And then, what's the purpose of that? To evaluate, class, kung okay yung model or kailangan pa tayong hyperparameter tuning. Ito yung sinasabi ko. That's the purpose of using OOB. Right? Okay, so I'll skip this class. I'll leave that for your uh, reading. Yung hyperparameter choosing class, no? That's the reason why we're using OOB. Para ma-evaluate natin kung okay yung model natin just based on the data that were not used in the model. All right. Now, I mentioned here cross-validation class. I-discuss natin to na lang next time. Kasi cross-validation is a different type of data sampling. Kasi si random forest, ang default niya is bagging, no? Si cross-validation, I want you to at least do some reading about that. Iba din to class, no? Okay? Meron tayong tinatawag na K-fold cross-validation. Parang fino-fold natin yung data natin. Okay? So, I want you to read up on this because when we do hyperparameter tuning, pwede nating i-impose na hindi bagging ang gagamitin, kundi cross-validation. And there are different types of cross-validation class. But the same objective, come up with different samples for your training. Okay? And then different samples for your testing. Okay. All right. Ito na ano ko na class, yung mTry. Okay. Inulit ko lang to class, no? Okay. Ito na yung step number 4, final evaluation of the testing data. Where after we have chosen our final random forest model, we use it on our testing data. All right. So let's go here now, class. Paasa yung notes ko dito? Okay. All right. So exacto, class, mga 15 minutes. Okay. So let's run this. Okay, pause muna ako, class. Okay, clear ba so far, class, yung whole gamut ng proseso ng random forest? Did you get it, class? Okay, good. So thank you so much, class. Now you know the concept of bagging or bootstrap sampling, okay? And you also know the concept of OOB. And these are very important for machine learning, in particular to kay random forest. All right. So let's try to model, class, yung default muna. Okay. So I gave this to you already, no? Ini-split ko lang to, class. Okay, kasi I want to show you something. So first, uh, okay, this is using caret to, no? Caret. Caret pa to, hindi pa to yung random forest. So train. Let's see class first. Let's see. Si caret class. Caret. Ito. Packages. Here. Caret. So this is our caret package and andi dito class si train. Okay. First train. Layo pa. ERS. Dami niyang ano, no? Ang daming function si caret talaga. And we even haven't scratched the surface, no? Ito class. Train. Fit predictive models over different tuning parameters. So yung binabago-bago niya, no, yung Depende dun sa syntax, depende dun sa code. Alright? Yung default niya is this one. Okay? Ito class. Method is equal to RF. Okay? Random forest. And then, meron ditong, yan, train control. Train control, you have to see what are the parameters here na pwedeng ano yan. Tune grid. Okay, pwedeng, yung tune grid class, yung sa mTry to. Pwede natin gawin, ang tune grid is, dun sa model natin, 1, 2, 3, no? Kasi ang predictors natin tatlo. So we can do mTry is equal to 1, mTry is equal to 2, mTry is equal to 3. So mag-create siya ng model na 1, 2, 3. Or if you have 8 predictors, di ba? Concatenate natin from 1 up to 8. Yun ang mTry natin. Okay? Alright. So you can see here that maraming ano, no? Maraming pwedeng gawin dito sa train, no? Pwedeng class yung metric can be accuracy or Ramsey. Ramsey class is root mean square error. So pag classification, of course, dapat accuracy. Hindi naman tayo nagko-compute ng Ramsey for ano for classification. Accuracy ang hinahabol natin. Ilan yung tamang prediction, ilan yung mali. Sa regression naman class, hindi naman pa pwedeng mag-create tayo ng confusion matrix kasi number yun class. Kunyari, ang pinipredict natin, ang actual is 8.52. Hindi naman makakapag-predict ng 8.52 tapos sabihin natin, ay correct yan kasi 8.52. Quantitative yun class. So, ang hinahanap natin dun yung residuals. How far is it yung squared errors? Kunyari, ang actual 8.52. Ang predicted is 8.5. So, ang difference ng class, di ba? 0.02. Then, ini-square yun. Then, sinasum up sa class. Para, then square root means square error. Alright? So, ano pa ba dito? Meron pa. Okay, there are others here class, no? There are others. Tapos, naka-explain naman dito yung arguments niya. For example, ano yung pre-process? Okay, it's a string vector that defines a pre-processing of your predictor data. Current possibilities are, so ito yung binabago yung data, box-cox transformation, Yeo-Johnson, expo-trans, etc. Okay, so PCA, principal component analysis, etc. So binabago class yung, binamanipulate yung data, binabago siya. Okay, kung may pre-process tayo. Okay, and then ito yung train control natin, a list of values that define how this function acts. Pwede natin tingnan yung train control, okay, etc. Alright, meron pang yung nodes dito, no? As in nodes. Uh, let's see, no, wala. Hindi niya pinakita. So, siguro sa train control, sandali natin class. Itong train control. Okay, so by the way class, that's why it's important for you to understand kappa ha. Kasi ginagamit yung kappa class. Okay? Sa regression, Ramsey and R squared. Okay? Sa classification, accuracy and kappa. Walang kappa class sa regression. Ang accuracy at saka kappa only for classification. Okay? Let me just quickly go here. Asan na yung train control natin? Let's just see. Okay? Ito yung train control, no? So, ito yung mga pwedeng baguhin sa train control. You can define the p-value. Okay. Andito ba si node? Wala si node ah. Okay, I don't see. So method class yan. Method is equal to boot. Okay, ito yung bootstrap natin. So pwede rin class, pwede rin ang method class is CV. Okay, cross validation. So magkaiba yung class but they have the same objective, no? Create different samples from your data. Okay, method. Andito siya class sa method, no? Ito, CV. Okay? LOOCV. Yan. Ito yung mga popular class. Andito din sa OOB. And OOB is only for random forest. For bag trees, etc. So hindi lahat nagagamitan ng OOB. Alright. So sige, balik na tayo class sa ano natin. Pinakita ko lang yung syntax ng train function ng caret. Okay? So here class, no? This is coming from the caret package yung train. And yung model natin class, NSPF, regressed on our three predictors, data is equal to train. So parang ano lang to, no? Parang regression model, parang LM lang. But here, we identify anong method. So sinabi natin RF, and then train control is equal to, TR control is equal to train control, method is equal to none. Ano ibig sabihin ng class ng method is equal to none? Default siya. Okay? Ano yung default? Bootstrap to class. Ang gagamitin dito, bootstrap. Entries is equal to 500. Mtry is equal to square root of p. Yun ang mga default class. And then, bootstrap, hindi cross-validation. Okay? That's the meaning of none. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin dito ng train control, as far as the caret, package is concerned, ang gagamitin yung default ng random forest, RF. Okay? So let's run this class. Run. And tingnan natin class yung RF model natin. What's inside RF model? Ang bilis ng oras. Okay, let me... RF model class should be here. RF here class. It's a large string class, no? Large string. So ito yung mga laman niya. Yung method, results class, yung prediction, etc. So marami siyang elements there. Okay? Final model gagamitin natin ito mamaya, no? Yung final model. If we take a look at this class, andyan yung predicted, no? Now take note, factor with three levels, x1, x2, x3. So hindi na siya class 1, 2, 3. Yung levels natin, di ba, dun sa R part at saka party package 1, 2, 3. Sa random forest, hindi pa pwedeng ganun. Kailangan x1, x2, x3. And take note class, hindi naman natin pinalitan, di ba? Automatic siya, pinalitan niya. Yan, x1, x2, x3. Alright. So there are other important details here. We'll take a look at them as we go along. Okay, so back here, class. Now, di ba, what do we do after we create the model? Take a look at this class. Predict natin yung train. Okay? Predict using this model, RF model, new data is equal to train. Now, take note here, class, ang predict natin, yung train data set, ha? Hindi yung OOB. Di ba magkaiba class yung OOB at saka yung pinipredict natin, ang sabi natin kay R, di ba may train data set tayo? Ito yung 1,701. Ito yung split natin from the cardio, train and test, no? 1,701. These are not class the bootstrap samples that we created. Okay? Train talaga to, no? Kung saan nanggaling yung mga bootstrap. And then mag-create tayo ng confusion matrix using the predicted, yung train data set, at saka compared with the train, yung actual. So here what we're comparing is yung train class, yung train data set mismo. Okay, so i-run natin to. Okay, let's run this. Okay, and then here you have the confusion matrix. Okay, so this is your train data set class. This is not your OOB. Okay, so hindi tayo interested dito actually class kasi yung train data set, yung pinipredict natin, nakita na niya yan eh. Yan ang ginamit niya sa model, di ba? So we're interested more is, okay, I'm not sure if I gave this to you, class. Hmm. So siguro i-copy nyo lang to sa another, kahit R note, no? Control C. Tapos i-compare nyo lang class kung anong binigay ko kasi I think I made some adjustments eh. Okay. Delete ko to, ang hirap. Uh, Let me just do this in part. muna. Control C, Control V. Mhm. Bawas. Control X. Kindly copy this class. And then ito class, no? Dinidiscuss ko kung ano yung prediction na create natin. And as I said, it's coming from the trained data set. Okay. Now we want this class. Ito. Ito yung kailangan natin. Yung galing sa OOB. Control C. This one class, I don't think I shared this with you. Control V. All right. So we're not interested class yung sa una, no? Yung sa modeling ng trained data set. Okay? It's not generated from the OOB. Gusto natin makita class yung galing sa OOB. Okay, how do we do that? So here, take a look at this. So ito yung kanina, di ba? Meron na tayo nito. This is now your RF predicted for train. Okay? In fact, if you run this class, sasabihin sa atin na, okay, ito yung kanina, no? 86.6%. Same as the above. Okay? Now, ang gagawin natin class, ang gusto natin yung OOB predictions. Di ba? Yun ang importante sa atin. How best was the model? How good was the model in predicting? Class, it's already time. You may go, tapusin ko lang tong portion na to. So, we're going to create this object RF actual model. And this is from the original RF model, pero ang kukunin natin yung final model. Okay? Kasi yung kanina train model yun eh. Ang final model natin, yung the one using OOB. So if I run this class there, and then I also shared this with you, no? Magkre-create ako ngayon class ng kukunin ko dito sa object na to sa actual model yung confusion. Kasi may confusion dito class sa RF model natin. Okay? So I'll run this class. So kukunin niya yung confusion and then ira-run ko to, no? Let's print the confusion. Okay, take a look at this class. Ito ngayon class yung out of the bag confusion matrix, no? Okay, and this is different from the trained data set a while ago. So pwede natin ma-compute class yung accuracy. 1268, 124, 13, they're correct predictions, no? Okay, ito yung sensitivity niya, no? Yung classification error yung mali. Okay? And then did I give this to you class ito? Okay, if I did not, okay, bigay ko na control C, chat, control V. Okay, last minute class. Thank you so much for your patience. I-run ko to class. Okay. There you go class. Yung accuracy class ng OOB is 82.53. Yung misclassification niya, of course, is 17%. Notice that yung OOB accuracy natin is expected to be lower than the ano. Ito kasi yung train kanina, ito na yung model, ito na yung ginamit niya sa pag-create na model eh. Ito class yung OOB, ito yung mga out of the box samples na ginamit, no, for coming up with the final model. Okay? All right. So narana natin to kanina, no? Yan. Okay, and then yan, kinuha natin. Okay, so just this last one, I'll just share this with you. Comparing yung model na generate with the, oops, ali, chat pala. With the train, okay? Just this last one class. Ay sumobra pa. Tanggal to. Control X, Control V. Okay. All right. So I'll just run this. Okay. Again, print, concatenate ulit to, no? Kino-compare natin yung accuracy ng train at saka yung accuracy ni OOB. Okay. Run their class. Okay, yung prediction natin dun sa train, it's called resubstitution accuracy ang tawag dun, 86.6. Yung OOB accuracy natin, 82.53. So, sa text ko sinabi, as expected, the resubstitution accuracy is higher as it's evaluated on the model trained on. The OOB accuracy, 1 minus misclassification rate is a more reliable estimate of how model performs on unseen data, which is typically lower than the resubstitution accuracy. All right. So with that, class, we end our discussion. Ipopost ko na lang, class, yung assignment nyo, ha, yung stop recording.